Tonight is Philly cheesesteak night, and here is the Philly cheesesteak that I'm about to eat. It is a special Philly cheesesteak because later in the video I'm going to be reviewing the sauce that is slathered over both sides of the bun. But I'm going to go over the preparation and assembly really quickly before I get to the sauce. Alright, so this is what I did. I took a thin sirloin steak. I marinated it in a combination of Knorr liquid seasoning and umami seasoning. Then I chopped up some mushrooms and some white onion and some pasilla pepper. I sauteed them in butter and olive oil. I added more of the chili liquid seasoning and the umami seasoning. And I roasted the steak in the oven. You can kind of see little pieces of steak there. Alright, and then after everything was cooked, I toasted the bun a little bit. I slathered this is the sauce I'm going to be reviewing later, the AYOH hot GIARDINAYO SANDO sauce with avocado oil. Slathered both sides of the bun in that and heaped the steak and the sauteed vegetables and fungi over that. And then I put it back in the oven with a slice and a half of this hatch chili cheese to get it nice and melty and saucy and gooey. All right. I am going to move over to my eating table and I'm going to introduce this sauce. All right, so let me reintroduce today's sauce for review. This is something that I found in Whole Foods. It is AYOH hot GIARDINAYO. I don't know if I'm saying it. It's a made-up word anyways, but I'm assuming that that's how they would want you to pronounce it, based on the fact that it is a spicy mayonnaise that has elements of gardenia in it, which is that Italian blend of pickled vegetables that's used on like pizza and sandwiches and other things. In this case, I'm using it on a Philly cheesesteak. Well, not actual gardenia, but you know what I mean. A gardenia mayonnaise. So that's what we've got here. Hot GIARDINAYO with avocado oil. And I have seen a couple of these AYOH products. I think that they're starting to generate some buzz. This is naturally the place that I wanted to start because it's the spicy one. Just looks good. So, the hot GIARDINAYO Sando sauce goes great with Italian hoagies, breakfast sandos, chicken cutlets, salami, and cheese. The best ingredients for the best taste. It's got Chicago-style gardenia. Okay. I'm struggling with that word a little bit because I don't eat that kind of thing normally. Calabrian chilies and pickled peppers. Okay. The ingredients in this are avocado oil, diced giardiniera, peppers, celery, carrots, cauliflower, herbs, and spices is what's in the gardenia. Water, cage-free egg yolks, distilled vinegar, apple cider vinegar, sugar, salt, Calabrian chili, mustard flour, xanthan gum, oleoresin paprika, oleoresin capsicum. So it's probably not going to be very hot. Calabrian chilies are about equivalent to Serranos, about 10,000 SHUs. It's not going to be that hot, but they are a delicious pepper. Nice, spicy, piquant, kind of earthy pepper. So I'm sure that they'll lend really nice earthiness and smokiness to the flavor of this sauce. And there is oleoresin capsicum in it. It is the last ingredients, but maybe they wanted to give a little extra boost of heat with the inclusion of that. So, I have the golden trumpet spoon, which I'm going to sample this on, and then we'll see how it does over a Philly cheesesteak. Okay. Yep. Kind of looks like a dark yellow mayo. It's got that, it's got the consistency, maybe just slightly thinner than, say, Duke's mayonnaise. Hellmann's and Best Foods, I think, are thicker, but that's kind of like the Duke's mayo. Maybe a little bit of a, actually, in color and texture, it actually maybe a little bit closer to Kewpie mayo. Anyways, there you go. Got some little pieces of vegetable in there. Let's try it. Nice. Very tangy mayonnaise. A tangy, pickly mayonnaise. And I'm getting those, there's like slices of pickled vegetable in it. Not what I would call chunks. Chunks or not even mince. You know, I kind of thought the vegetables in this were going to be minced, but they kind of taste like just like little mini strips of vegetables. I really like that. I like that about it. Very, very little heat. I mean, very little heat. It's just nice, savory pickled vegetable flavor. Little hint of smokiness and earthiness. I'm assuming that comes from the Calabrian chilies. That is nice. I like this. And yeah, I'm in a very aioli and mayonnaise mood right now. I just did the truff smoky jalapeno aioli, and now I'm doing this hot. I'm gonna say it wrong again. GIARDINAYO. That's about as good as I think I'll ever be able to pronounce that, or as accurately as I'll ever be able to pronounce this made-up word. GIARDINAYO. Yeah, I'm on kind of like a spicy mayonnaise, spicy aioli kick right now. This one is not as immediately wonderful as the truff smoked jalapeno or smoky jalapeno aioli, but I think it may, you know, the smoky jalapeno truff sauce was really good on its own, and maybe went up about half a point over the crispy chicken sandwich, and it was just delicious either way. This is a thing that I think is going to be elevated possibly more than just half a point after it's served on a Philly cheesesteak or some of the other suggested uses. Yeah, chicken cutlets, salami, and cheese. Oh, hell yeah, I can see that. So let's just see. I'm going to give that sauce a 7. All right, I like it. It's a good spicy mayo, but you know, it's not blowing me away in the same way as the truff aioli did. So I'm gonna try to get the more aesthetically pleasing half of. I think that's the more aesthetically pleasing half of the Philly cheesesteak. These are so fun to do. I mean, it's a work of art, but it's really, really easy to do. Really easy to do. All right, all you got to do is just, you know, roast some meat, roast a little slab of meat. Cut it up, saute some vegetables, squirt whatever mayo you want, assemble it, melt some cheese or put some cheese over that, put it back in the oven, you know, make a nice melt. It's really not hard to do. Anyways, you know, my presentation is just way off tonight. I can just tell. Like, I know when I play this back, I'm going to be heavily critical of my presentation of everything in this video. It's because it's hot and humid. It does bad things to my brain. It makes me short of breath. It's unpleasant. I'm very uncomfortable right now. And I had all my fans going on this incredibly hot, humid, and nasty and unpleasant mid to late July day. But if I leave all my fans on when I'm recording, then you won't be able to hear my voice. So I had to turn them all off. So there's just still like humid, nasty, unpleasant air. I can feel myself building up a sweat right now. So I better hurry up and finish this video. But that is my excuse for the rather incompetent presentation that has been going on probably since the beginning of this video. All right, here we go. And it'll only get worse until my fans get back on. There's a lot of flavor in the meat and the vegetables. You know, that chili liquid seasoning is kind of like, you know, a soy sauce mixed with a Worcester sauce on steroids because it's got like hot pepper in it. It's quite flavorful. And I think it is probably masking a little bit the this stuff. I'm not even going to try to say it again. This stuff. However, there's a really nice, there's like sauce like dripping. It's like all over everything, and it kind of mixed in with the cheese in a really nice way. Let me take another bite. No, I was wrong. I'm tasting that sauce. I think maybe the first bite, it was like, it didn't have as much sauce on it. I'm getting into more, you know, the part of the Philly cheesesteak that's really, really slathered in the sauce. And now I'm really tasting it. And in combination with the cheese and the marinated steak and the nicely buttery sauteed vegetables and the toasty bun. It is a great condiment. And this is just a fantastic Philly cheesesteak. It probably would still be good if I used, for example, probably the smoked jalapeno aioli by Truff would probably be really good on this. So like any kind of like a spicy mayo, something like that. But I think with this particular sauce, it's kind of more Italian. So if you like that, if you like that flavor of Italian pickled vegetables, if you love Calabrian peppers, you like a good spicy mayo, kind of pickly mayo, this is what I would call a perfect condiment for a Philly cheesesteak. And yes, it does get up, not a full point. I will give this a 7.5 now that I've tasted it on a Philly cheesesteak. Not an 8, but it's going from good to really, really good. And I'll have to think about what else it might be good on, because Philly cheesesteak is by no means the only thing that this sauce is going to be good on. I already know that. It is very good on a Philly cheesesteak. Well worth a try. And yeah, I bungled my explanation of how to easily assemble a Philly cheesesteak and ended up ironically making it seem like it's actually really difficult to do, but it's not. Make a Philly cheesesteak at home. It really isn't hard to do. This is a nice sauce. I recommend it. It was not expensive. I think it was under $5. All right, so it wasn't too expensive. You can get it at Whole Foods, and it's interesting. It's unique. It's a unique approach to spicy mayonnaises. I like the chunks of vegetable in it. It's an interesting and respectable sauce. It is not spicy, but it is very good. All right.